How's it going? In a previous video, I made a little prototype thing on lumping geometry. So one of the major ways to speed up an OpenGL program is to reduce the number of draw calls and reduce the amount of CPU work which is being done. One way we can do that is we can grab a bunch of different level objects and kind of throw them in, lump them into one big model and then draw that in one go. But one of the downsides of that is, how do we preserve textures? The different objects we lumped together may have different textures. A simple approach is texture lumping, which pretty much is what it sounds like. So imagine we get all the textures in our level and we throw them into one mega texture, one big image. To start with, I'll just mark out the texture coordinates because that could be helpful. So in OpenGL, texture coordinates run right to left and bottom to top. Okay, and the way I'm going to define this is I'll say, okay, let's say textures are rows along this image. And then each row is split into columns, and each column is a different material for the texture. So let's say we have our albedo map or our diffuse map, our regular base color there, and then we have, I don't know, who cares, our ambient occlusion, normal, specular, and emissive maps, for instance, or any sort of texture maps that we want. We'll look at the, so I'll say this is texture 1, right down to texture n, this is texture 2 over here, and so on. Okay, so look at the coordinates here. Clearly we are sharing this into 5 maps. So this is 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, and 1. So this is 1/5 of the way across at a height of 1. And here we are going down, and then we're saying, well, how much are we going down by? We are going down by 1 over the texture count, as we can see here for this corner. And then for this corner, it's the same thing, just with a 0.2, 1/5 instead of a 0. Anyway, so this is kind of giving us an idea of how we can kind of build this together. And we'll be using some sort of shifting math when we lump all these images together into the large texture, and also when we extract them in the shader. So for instance, let's say, what do we want to do if we want to access, what do we do if we want to access albedo, ambient occlusion, each of these, as well as how we access texture index n. So to access the albedo, let's say in our texture coordinates, the texture coordinates are just the standard texture coordinates for the albedo texture, so we make no modification. But then if we want to sample, so let's say we have a pixel here that we're sampling, then if you want to sample that same pixel in the ambient occlusion, well, it's shifted to the right by 0.2. Where obviously this, and we don't shift vertically. Obviously this shift of 0.2 depends on how many maps we want to make per texture, and it just continues in the same way. So in other words, we can simply specify the texture coordinates for the albedo map, and then by applying shifts to those texture coordinates, we can access other maps as well. Okay, and then if we want to get texture n, well, texture 1 is the top, so we're going to move down to get texture n. We will not move down horizontally, but we will move down by n-1 over the texture count, or something like that. This might come out a little differently in the wash, but this is the general idea of how we're going to kind of lump our images together. And the next step, before we actually use this in a program, is just to kind of practice lumping those images together. So I'll pop over to VS Code now. So here we are in Visual Studio Code. It doesn't really matter which program we're using this in. I'm just doing this as a demonstration. I'll just run this right now, show what it's looking like. So this is from my ray tracing series, and it's currently just sampling up to the appropriate frame buffer size. I'm not going to be working with this at the moment. I'll leave that for later. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to load a bunch of textures and simply draw that mega texture diagram over the screen just to show that we can load in the textures properly. Okay, so we'll leave this for now and we'll make a class called mega texture, and we'll just do some stuff. This config is basically just loading in OpenGL definitions and things, just so I have access to OpenGL and Pygame functions. And file names is going to be a list of basically folder locations to look at. Okay, so we'll create a large surface which will represent the texture so that we can draw images onto it that'll essentially store them in the texture. We're going to have 5 material maps per texture, and yeah, we'll just allocate space vertically for those textures. So each texture is a row. The next thing we're going to do, by the way, we need to convert this into an appropriate format, and Pygame handles that for us. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to pretty much load in those files. Okay, so we're going to load all of those. Once we've loaded all of those, we will convert this to, I'll fill that in a second. Convert that into a flat memory location, kind of like pixel pointers, and then we'll simply load that data in. So I'll just be lazy and copy paste that from my notes. Okay, good. So we'll just go through the rigmarole of creating a regular texture and setting the addressing parameters, setting the filters, and of course, passing in the data. Okay, so now how do we kind of get that data? Well, the first thing is we'll need to load an image. So the file name, yeah, I think that's fine. Let me just double check that. I don't even have it. Okay. So there we go. We have the textures folder, and then inside there, we'll have a folder with the texture name. And then each of these, the format is the texture name and then the type of map that we have. And that's what we're accessing here in this, this statement. Okay, great. And then we need to copy that data. So we want to blit onto the texture data. We want to blit the image that we loaded, and then the size that we want to, or the kind of rectangle that we want to blit to is the, we'll start at 0. So all of this image will be copied over, but we need to specify like a top left coordinate in the target that we want to blit to. So the albedo will be flush on the left, and yeah, 0 pixels on the left, and according to this loop, it'll be right at the top because it'll be texture count -1. That makes sense. Anyway, I'll go through it. We can always adjust it if it's not quite right, but I think this should be okay. So then we'll go ahead and we'll do the same thing for each of these. So for the emissive, we are now, well, of course, we are loading the emissive map. Oh yeah, by the way, these all need to be converted. And now we've shifted across. So we'll shift across by 1024 pixels. And then we'll just keep modifying this. Right, so if we think about it like, no, I'll explain this in a second. It'll be easier to see when it's actually loaded. So anyway, we have now loaded in all the maps and all the images. We'll just have to kind of pop over to our engine and create a function to actually make this. So of course we will import that megatexture file. It's pretty straightforward. We just have that list of file names. There's all the folders there. And then we just pass that list in, and that should make it. Okay, so we have that. Now let's render it and make sure that the images have in fact loaded properly. So we'll go down to render scene, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, for now, just get rid of all of that. Go to draw scene, and inside draw scene, instead of, because remember, the mega texture, it's just an OpenGL texture, OpenGL texture 2D. So instead of binding the color buffer, which we've been rendering to, we will simply bind the mega texture. Let's double check that. Yep, I am storing that. Okay. Okay, and then just go ahead and draw. Again, not based on the color buffer that we rendered, but based on the texture, the images that we loaded. Okay, so now you can see that, yes, it is working. As we go across in each row, we have each texture here, each individual texture, and then as we go down each column, there's the map type, material type. So we have the albedo, the diffuse, the emissive, the, what was it, the gloss map or something, or the specular, the normal map here, and then one of these is, I think this one's a specular and this one's a gloss map, something like that. Doesn't really matter. Now it looks a bit squashed, but that's just because it's being squashed to the size of the screen, and it's actually quite a large texture. That's perfectly fine. And yes, if we go back to this list of file names, we can confirm that we have what alien architecture is the top, Egyptian hieroglyphs, it's hard to see, but these are hieroglyphs in here, that's the bottom. Diamond, square, flourish tiles, yep, we can see that there. So it is going in the order that we expect. Okay, So I'm not really going to do anything else with this. I just wanted to make this little mock-up, this little prototype of lumping textures together because it is useful and we will be using it in future videos. Anyway, usual stuff. I hope you enjoyed and I will see you again soon. All right, bye.